My name is Nivedan Singh. I am a freelance sound designer in Nashville, Tennessee. I also work with a music education nonprofit called Notes for Notes. And I'm really excited to be here talking to you about sound design.
Fantastic. So, can you give us a little overview of what you do as a sound designer?
So there are so many different members on the production team that make a show happen. And I am the person on the team who is making sure that we are telling our story visually, but also telling an auditory story. Because as human beings, we've got these two ears, and they are great for enhancing and adding a little flair and effect to a storytelling process. So the first thing I do when I'm sound designing a show is I read the script. I get really, really intimately familiar with everything that's going on in the script, because there's three main things that I'm trying to bring out of the script. That is, first and foremost, I'm trying to make sure that every actor, every character is heard on stage. So you can hear and hear every word of dialogue and hear every note that is sung. I also am trying to make sure that anything that is a sound effect in the script that might be like, a dish crashing or something like that, I'm trying to make sure that I'm curating sounds that are going to sort of trick the audience member into feeling like they're really experiencing these things happening. And then lastly, you're kind of trying to mix it all together in the technical rehearsal process. And that's done through audio cues that are then given to the stage manager.
Cool. What kind of skills are needed for this position of sound designer?
A lot of quick thinking, I would think. Well, for a lot of reasons. I think that this isn't to say anything bad about lighting designers, but I think if a lighting cue goes wrong in a show, it's possible for an audience member not to notice that. But if a mic goes off or something, or if someone doesn't hear a performer, it is the first thing that will grab an audience member's ears, and it could be the one thing they walk away thinking. So there's a lot of pressure. But that's exciting about it. That's one of the things that gets me excited about it, is sort of like the instinctual reactionary parts. I also think that just being a good collaborator is just so important with any part of this theater process, but especially with sound.
What kind of student or what kind of characteristics of a person would you encourage to sort of explore this field?
So it's funny because a lot of what I do does boil down to some pretty technical stuff, in terms of the math around it, the software and all that stuff. But I would say that for me, I studied music, and sound recording was a part of that. But really what got me into it was music, being a performer growing up, being active in my own theater programs and drama clubs in school. So I even acted for a while there on stage when I was growing up. I've been trying to get back into it now a little bit. But I think just like having that creative curiosity and sort of understanding what it means to like perform in an ensemble, like that's where I see the musical mental handshake. That's pretty easy to make there for someone. I would also say that, yeah, I mean, if you're into coding, that kind of stuff, it's a very similar headspace when you're mixing music or mixing a show. So if you've had any interest in computer science or things like that, I could also see that. But I've met so many people in this field who have come to it from a lot of different backgrounds. So I think just like if it's something that you're interested in, keep focusing on the things that you love doing now. And when you get an opportunity if you get an opportunity to work on a play or a musical, just try it. I mean, there's really no wrong answer when you're starting out. It just becomes about just getting out there and doing it. And that's sort of how I got into it myself.
And so where would you send a student, or what would you recommend a student who's interested in sound design? What should they check out? How can they find out more?
Well, one thing that I think is really funny is because when I was growing up in drama club and stuff, I was really concerned with like being on stage, and I didn't think too much about like being on tech crew and doing that kind of stuff until I left and found my career, and I wish I had done more of it when I was in school. So I think that you know, getting involved with your drama club, getting involved with the production when those things are happening, you know, and volunteering to run the soundboard. Just do it. Just like put yourself in there and do it. It is the only way to learn is by doing, especially with a really hands-on field like this. I also get inspired by movies and television all the time. Start listening to the soundtrack and the sound design in your favorite movie. Just like take a moment and try and think about just like how all the sounds are coming at you. I think that one of my favorite films to think about this with is WALL-E by the Pixar film WALL-E. I think the sound design in that is really phenomenal, and Pixar does a really good job. So I think that film, television, that kind of stuff, and also just seeing plays, seeing productions, going to concerts, seeing bands, seeing orchestras, just go to places where you're surrounded by big sound and just like let yourself feel immersed in it, and then get it if you get a chance to work on a play or a production or a movie or whatever. If your friend has a YouTube channel, do the sound for it. Like find a way to get in there and do it, because there's a lot you can do from home.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for, you know, speaking with us and speaking to the students, and good luck on your next gig.
Thank you so much, Lori.